I'm Les Wilkinson with the law firm of Wilkinson Magruder. I'm here with my law partner Andy Magruder to discuss with you some of the new issues involving Social Security disability law. There have been a lot of changes now, and they're going to affect you and your right to receive Social Security disability benefits. So Andy, what are some of the changes that are going on that's going to affect everybody?
Well, over the last 6 to 12 months, Social Security has implemented a number of rules that have made it more difficult, that are going to make it more difficult for people to be approved for benefits. And a very important rule that they have put into place, which became effective May 1st, 2017, just 3 days ago, is that all medical evidence must be submitted into the Social Security electronic file 5 business days before the hearing. And if the medical evidence isn't there 5 business days before the hearing, and there's no good reason for it not being there, it doesn't come in and it's not considered by the judge. Now, let me ask you, Les, what was the change? How was that different from how it was before May 1st?
Well, before May the 1st, that wasn't an absolute rule. I mean, you could submit evidence. In fact, the judge would ask you, do I have all the evidence? Do you have anything you know that I should have? And then you could submit it at that time. But now the rules, it's sort of like mandatory on the judges. If they don't have the evidence, they don't get to consider it. So it makes a big difference, because a lot of times, you know, you come in for like a pre-conference hearing and things like that, and the client will just tell you, oh, I just went to see Dr. Smith, you know. And so in that case, maybe there was a good reason for not getting Dr. Smith's records, because the client just went to Dr. Smith. But a lot of times they'll tell you, oh, I went to him 3 years ago. Those are important records, so you'll get those records, and too late to submit them, because now it's within the 5-day rule.
One other change that they've put into the rules, Les, is up until May 1st of 2017, Social Security is only required to give the claimant 20 days notice of the hearing. They've extended that now so that a claimant now gets 75 days notice of the hearing, which is good, so they have time to get the records. But what if a claimant is not represented by an attorney and they get the notice of a hearing 75 days out? I can't stress to our viewers out there how critical it is right then and there to go talk to an experienced Social Security disability attorney to get some representation then. Because if a claimant waits until right before the hearing, they're going to find it, I think, very difficult to have a lawyer take their case with only a couple weeks prior to the hearing.
I know when somebody comes in and they have got a notice of a hearing, we get a copy if we already represent them. So we know, okay, we got to call them up and make sure we got all the records. Have there been anybody that we don't know about? So we can collect those records, and you tell them it's important, because if they just omit somebody or omit some medical provider until they tell us at the last minute, and it might help their case, we're not going to be able to put that in. So if it's important that when you get that 75-day notice, you get a hold of a lawyer if you don't have one, and make arrangements to see if that lawyer will represent you, because you don't want to go to one of those hearings by yourself. So I think that's probably good advice.
Les, I'll tell you, another change that came with these rules is that requests for subpoenas have to be submitted to the judge at least 10 days prior to the hearing. And this doesn't happen often, but I've got a case now where we've been trying to get records from a particular doctor for months. And we just haven't been able to get them, despite numerous emails, phone calls, and letters. We've not been able to get these records, so we've had to submit a subpoena request to the judge, so the judge can send the subpoena to the doctor's office to get a hearing. And again, this situation doesn't occur often, but again, to someone who doesn't know the rules, if they walk into a hearing and they're going to ask the judge to request a subpoena from a doctor, it's going to be too late at that point in time.
So it would behoove anybody and everyone who's got a claim pending, once you get that notice of hearing, you contact your attorney if you've got one. If you don't, get one, because you're going to need one. So I think that's probably good advice to everybody listening or watching the video, is that don't go into a hearing by yourself, and get a hold of your attorney as soon as possible after you get that notice, because time's a ticking and you don't want it to waste. So stay tuned for some more videos.